Hello, everybody, and welcome to
the tasting room.
We are getting fancy today, aren't we?
This is extra fancy. So, of course, I'm sure that anybody that's following the bourbon study by now or knows anything about whiskey in America has heard of Blanton's.
Mm-hmm.
It's very well known.
Mm-hmm.
So, an interesting fun fact about Blanton's: they are the original single barrel.
Oh.
They only are single barrel. So every bottle...
Can you refresh what single barrel means?
Single barrel means that when a barrel goes into the rickhouse to age, it comes out and they bottle it.
And that's it. That's all you get from that one barrel. Okay.
It's just from that one barrel. So every bottle, there's no blending.
They don't put it all together when they're done.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if you go to Evan Williams or Elijah Craig or any of these things, they're taking many barrels and blending them together to get the flavor profile that is distinctly Evan Williams or Elijah Craig or whatever.
Yeah.
Blanton's is single barrel 100% only. Also, they only age their barrels in the famed warehouse age, which is funny because we talk about Comic-Con, like San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah. I was just going to say Hall age. Yeah.
So they only, the barrels for Blanton's are exclusively from that middle of the super hot part of the famed warehouse aged, and they're distilled by Buffalo Trace.
Does Blanton's... Okay, that was my next question. Yeah. Is Blanton's under a different umbrella that's not just themselves?
It's under like Buffalo Trace family of brands.
Interesting.
Which is actually the Sazerac company.
Yeah, I was just going to say, my sister and her husband, they said they're starting to get into like Scotch, and I was like, not for me. But we went to this place in Middleborough. I can't remember the name of the restaurant. I'll have to double check. But I told you the drinks are really good, but she just sent me, because now they've been watching some of the bourbon study, they sent me a picture of Buffalo Trace, and I was like, oh, that's sometimes a hard bourbon to get, but it's a solid
it's funny because even if you go and visit Buffalo Trace Distillery, they're like, don't expect to get Blanton's here, don't expect to get Pappy here. So it's the same, all the same distillery as Pappy Van Winkle and Blanton's and Weller and all of those like super fancy names that everybody recognizes if they know anything about bourbon.
Short supply.
Tell
me about these guys, though.
Okay, so the little horse is on top. So Blanton's traditionally has these little stoppers that are all the letters of the word Blanton's. So this one is O.
How do you know he's an O?
Because it says O.
Oh, on his little horseshoe.
Yeah, like right under the little foot. But if you line them up, Blantons, it's a horse crossing the finish line of the Kentucky Derby. So it's like all the little different positions of the jockey as he crosses the finish line.
That's fun.
Which is really cute.
Yeah.
So we're up to 4 letters of the 8.
How much are these bottles?
Blanton's retails for $69. But
okay. But it's one of those hard to get at that price,
to find that. So the first bottle that we have, we paid much more than $69. Like, you don't want to know how much more.
Yeah, cool, because I think it's famously known for being a very expensive bottle of bourbon.
It is. So we paid $180 for the first bottle. But then, we've been like sadly like, oh, we can't have drinks out of this because there's nothing left.
Yeah.
But then Steve got a tip, like from a friend from work, that there was a guy, like a liquor store up by UCF that had them, and they're like a state, like a real liquor store, like Total Wine, ABC, that sort of thing. So they can't mark it up. Like if it's a private seller.
Oh, interesting.
If it's a private seller, they can mark it up to whatever they want.
Yeah.
If it's like a state,
like a package store can't mark.
A package store
mark
has
it up.
to sell it for only retail value.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, so he got 2 bottles at the $69 price, which was like unheard of.
Yeah.
And then I got an alert on my app. So I have an app for the liquor store down in Clearwater.
Sure. We'll talk about it someday.
Yeah, and so there's a store down there that's like another like big box store of liquors, but they were like, Blanton's available, and I was like, what? And they have a slight markup. Theirs was like a $10 markup, but still.
Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah.
So I ordered 2 and like drove down and got them. So we have 4 bottles now.
Were all 4 of those different letters?
They were all different letters.
Did they let you check that, or you just?
Did not.
Oh, yeah. Shoot! Oh, so did you get lucky?
We just got lucky.
Wow.
Not getting any repeat letters.
That's the hardest part, where you're trying to complete the collection and then you get one that's a repeat.
Well, and because so once you complete the collection of horses, you can order it's called like a beautifier or something. So the bottle goes in the middle and then the horses line up.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's made out of like old barrel pieces.
Yeah,
and stuff, so
that's really neat. Yeah, that's really cool.
So we're halfway.
Hopefully we get to see that someday on the Bourbon Study.
We're halfway there.
Yeah. Okay, so let's crack this baby.
Literally, so the one that we got that we paid $180 for, we didn't get a fancy bag.
You didn't get this bag?
No.
This is very
but
Robin Hood.
But the fancy bag came with
Little
the ones
John.
that Steve got from the UCF place. So it's like a little felt bag.
Looks like we're undressing Little John from Robin Hood.
Embroidered, yeah, it's really nice.
He pulled his dress right off.
Pulled the dress right off. Okay, so this one is actually, this is one of my bottles. This is not a Steve bottle. This one says Lucan Wine and Spirits. That's the place in
So that was made specifically for them?
Well, no, it's the barrel that they selected.
Oh, okay. So it was already made. They went in and said, "Hey, we want to buy that
It's like
entire
when we
barrel."
went to Polite Pig.
Gotcha.
And they, so basically, they go into the barrel selection and they taste a different couple barrels and they go, "This is the one I like. We want this one to be ours." And then they buy that. It's like 280 bottles per barrel that you can get out of that.
That's a lot. Wow.
And then that's it forever. So every bottle of Blanton says all of that information. So this says,
and I see the number on the back too.
Yep, it says dumped on 4/9/21.
Oh,
so like
right
after my birthday.
Yeah.
Stored in Warehouse H, of course, as all of them are. From barrel number 57, Rick number 10, meaning like the rack that it was on was rack number 10. Individually selected, filtered, and bottled by hand, 93 proof. It says each bottle is recorded with the master registrar at Blanton's Distilling Company. This registered bottle is number 175 of this barrel.
Oh, that's cool too.
Yeah, so this was in the last third.
I wonder if there's a thing where like people go crazy to get the first of the barrel.
Number one of that barrel. Yeah, I'm sure. As you know,
Completionists,
huge market for this stuff. But look at this cute little wax thing, and we're gonna.
Oh, I was wondering what the little things in the back were.
Yeah, see, that takes off all the little
two little horseshoes,
little wax stuff, and then you can do the honors there and lift off our
geez.
little horse.
Look at them. Look at this. This is a nice bottle.
It is a nice bottle. Okay, so it says...
This smells very distinct already.
The finest bourbon in the world comes from a single barrel, never blended with whiskey from any other barrel. Bourbon peak maturity varies from barrel to barrel, and only the master distiller can determine the exact moment that it's been aged to perfection and deemed worthy of the Blanton's label, which means no barrel of Blanton's...
Jeez Louise.
No barrel of Blanton's is ready until it's ready. So until the master distiller goes in and samples all the barrels and says, it's done. Colonel Albert B. Blanton, time-honored tradition lives on today with a handful of barrels from the center of Warehouse H. So Warehouse H is the only all-metal rick house.
Oh, that's right.
So a lot of rick houses are made out of wood. If you remember that horrible tragedy that happened with Maker's Mark and some other things, there was like a fire at one of they lost like thousands of bottles last year.
Well, metal rick house, I'm imagining the sun hitting that definitely changes the heat in the room.
Yeah, so it's hotter a lot longer, so you get a lot more of those sweet notes out. And then it says only barrels from the center of Warehouse H are selected to become Blanton Single Barrel Bourbon. Sour mash bourbon whiskey has body, bouquet, and character unrivaled by any other. The original Single Barrel Bourbon Whiskey. No other companies did single barrel until after Buffalo Trace started bottling Blanton.
You just said sour mash bill, and I can smell sour apples. What I feel like it smells like to me.
Yeah.
I popped it when that cork. I popped it over
crisp,
here.
Like almost a Macintosh smell.
It was like immediately distinctly apple to me.
And now, of course, every bottle of Blanton's is going to be different from every other bottle, but the master distiller decides like this is what we consider to be labelable as Blanton's.
It's got a hug on it, or like a burn in the mouth.
Yeah, and almost like a. This is gonna sound like a super weird. You're gonna be like, why would I know that?
What else is new?
Like when you go to your parents' house.
The perfume mania?
No, and you're amongst your old stuff. It's got like a little bit of
You feel like it tastes like nostalgia?
It tastes like nostalgia.
I get what you're saying. I actually get what you're saying. 100%.
It's a weird thing to say.
Well, I just went through old stuff while I was home, and I know exactly what you're talking about. It's because if it's really just your brain shooting off the whatever, maybe it's tapping into that same part where that olfactory senses of memory where it's like...
Perhaps. But it's got that, and not in like a weird mothball sweater sort of way.
Well, we're also from like apple country, so that's the other part of that, where I think we might have some...
It's got like a cedar chest, apple orchard sort of.
It reminds me of like
it.
September in Massachusetts. This would actually be, I'm wondering, like, I don't know well, I know we decided on the strength, but I think we're going to circle back around.
Oh, yeah.
I think we're going to have to make an apple spice something or other. Yeah. Because I'm right away, like, I would love this with, like, I don't know what they are, like not a candied apple, but when an apple's like got the brown sugar on it or whatever, and it kind of saturates into the apple.
Like a cobbler.
Yes, a cobbler with this. That
I was
would
like, you're thinking candy apple is like the red stuff.
No, then that's not what I meant. No, yeah.
But yeah, I think it's hard to explain tastes like nostalgia, but I think that, and of course, like the next 3 bottles might not taste exactly like this.
There is like a very distinct memory I have of like senior year. We went apple picking for student government, and like there are very specific things that trigger that memory, and that literally does pull me in.
That's why I was like, it tastes like nostalgia, but I don't know how to explain.
Also, apples don't smell like apples till you bite them, so it's also weird to be like, oh, it smells like an apple orchard, but you're like, but that doesn't smell like an apple, like.
Sort of like when you spill cider on the floor.
It is like, I was just going to say, there is like, it's after you let it sit in your mouth, there is that wood. There's definitely a wood taste, like a bare wood, like something.
Well, and you have to consider too that because this is coming from that warehouse 8, from that hot middle section, it's getting a lot more, it's absorbing more of the oak flavors.
Yeah, I get that a lot, yeah.
In like any other conditions, because normally if they're just stored like up or low or whatever, or rotated, they're getting an influx of sometimes cold, sometimes hot, so it's not being forced in and out of the wood as much as a Blanton's barrel is. So that is the Blanton's, the original single barrel bourbon whiskey. Again, we are trying this bottle, which is bottle number barrel 57.
175.
175. So any bottle you get of Blanton's is not going to be exactly like this, but they will all be of a same quality, because that master distiller is sampling.
Honestly, I think that is one of the coolest things about bourbon, is that you're like, you know, it's like a strike zone in baseball. You know it's going to rest somewhere in here, but you don't know where there's going to be a is it going to be an upper,
well,
is it going to be a curveball?
It's like some of the Angels ones. Like we have the Angels Envy barrel strength from 2019 and from 2020, and I prefer the 2019. Steve prefers the 2020, but it's just that different. It's like wine. You're like, what was the year that this was stored at, and the temperature conditions that this was stored in, and the weather.
I think it's crazy too, is that it's ultimately like once you have it and you know that information, it's the chase to try and get it as similar as you can. But it's like, it's that sad part of life where you have to accept that sometimes we can't get that again.
We can never replicate that exactly.
And it's kind of this crazy chase, so I get why people really get into this. So but yeah, if you like the video, thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. We also have a Patreon page, patreon.com/thebourbonstudy, and you'll find some exclusive tastings on there and various other content that we come up with as we go. I think we'll eventually do some exclusive drinks, and we're going to do some food stuff on there and everything like that. We're just looking to make friends everywhere. So
make a mac and cheese.
Come on over, friends. We got a corn mac and cheese. You know. So thank you for drinking along with us. Let us know in the comments below what bourbon you've been drinking or what drinks you've been making. It doesn't have to be bourbon. Let us know what you're drinking.
If you find Blanton's in your town and it's cheap, tell me so I can order some.
She needs to know. I
need the other 4 letters.
Find the letters, yes. So, until next time, I guess.
Cheers.
Discovering voices, building worlds. The Ampliverse.